back in a few days again because your channel is going nowhere, just like Jax, just like Pathetic Warrior, just like the rest of them. You know it and I know it. And you're desperate for an interaction or conversation that keeps you relevant or interesting. And of course, it has to do with me because I'm relevant and interesting.
Stop growing.
I didn't know what you just said, just like you. Hold on, let me stare at my phone like you do on your broadcast all day and just completely tune out and check out while I wait for someone to cash out me.
I'm going to do that too.
So what happened to your sub growth?
Why did
you name Jimmy Shively, for your contribution. Thank you, Jimmy Shively. I don't know if there's a message there. Maybe it'll come through.
Slow. Why did you call your next live? See, this is why people don't go on Paul's panel. That's because the name of your next live.
Again, I know. No, it should be streaming now.
Okay, so what does that really mean?
Because he asked me questions, and when I start to answer them, I get backstaged or talked over.
Because you're not often honest, Flo. You don't see it, and you're very lazy, brother.
Let me jump in here, Luigi, please. Like,
go ahead, bro.
Here's what I'm noticing. Like, I invited everyone. I encourage everyone to come up. Like everyone, like Zatetic Warrior, just everyone from even back in the day. Like everyone, just come up on panel. Even if it's not going good like now for Flo. That's why I want to thank Flo for coming up right now. But even if you got to like come up now and you're still not, you're like fuck this, you leave. But come back then. It's all about.
I gotta thank Travis T. I gotta thank Travis T for his contribution. Thank you, Travis T.
Brian, why would people want to do that?
He says peace and blessings. 1 second. He says peace and blessings from Travis T. He's giving peace and blessings out. Peace is available. Blessings are available. And Shively says appreciate you always, sir. Thank you. Go ahead.
Because like I said, why? Hold up 1 second. I look at it like the Howard Stern show. It's like 1-1 to me, dude. Like we are fucking whack packers. Obviously, we try to do our own shit, and it's just like we can't fucking deliver in my eyes, bro. So it's like, come to the main show, and then we can even do like an after. Even if we're all pissed off, bro, it's all content at the end of the day. Like we're all gonna get farther, I think, at the end of the day, anyways. Like,
no, I'm doing fine.
You'll never catch me dead on Paul's panel. There's no evidence that I'm there.
Dude, you're doing fine, dude.
Brian, why wouldn't you believe in yourself? Why wouldn't you like put your effort behind yourself?
Well, you can.
Deflection. Deflection. We were talking about you, which you'll never do because you're inauthentic. Deflection.
Well, it presents my perspective on it. It was sort of rhetorical, but if he's got an answer, then
you could bring all the drama even to like the after show, bro. If you don't want to like do it during the show and be the center of attention, like, but just show up anyways. Just keep your fucking face in the box, and then like if you're still pissed, whether you want to do it on the main show or the after one, whatever, you just.
This isn't the main.
You made me remember. You made me remember what I had to say. Now I forgot for a second, but thanks, Brian. You asked the question, why do this? Why come up on Paul's channel? Why should anyone do this, right?
Why would anybody do this? Go ahead.
I believe that if someone has true discernment and they take a little bit of time just to catch some of the messages that are coming out and go towards the difficulty rather than run from it, you may come out the other side and say, oh, I get it now.
I mean, what difficulty are you referring to? I don't necessarily oppose what you
said.
Well,
possibly, let's say the difficulty with dealing with Paul. Yes, I want to kill him sometimes. In the beginning, a lot of times. But I understood that I needed to move towards the pain, not away from the pain. Even though it's just some schmuck on fucking YouTube. Who the fuck is Paul to me? Nobody in the end. Sorry, bro. But in the end, I come for me, and I move towards the direction that I believe is the right direction, and often that's a painful place. And if you're honest with yourself,
painful doesn't mean it's where you're supposed to move towards.
Bro, it's like the old saying: a wise man can learn from a fool, but a fool can learn from nobody.
Correct.
So, are you wise or are you a fool?
It's not because they accept what the fool is saying as truth. It's because they can use it to observe the dynamics at play for the fool.
Okay, give me a direct answer, clear and concise. What is wrong with Paul's message? And do you understand it at all?
I need you to define the message that I'm responding to.
No. I'm asking what you think. Is there a message? If you believe there is no message,
I'm not going to answer an obtuse question with a specific one.
It's not obtuse.
Question and you'll get a specific.
Do you believe Paul has a message? Let's start there.
I believe that he uses vague virtues to as decoration for himself.
So it's a grift. Is what you're
basically
saying.
Luigi, I asked the same question just to be fair.
So I went to jail over and over again and may still go for just an elaborate grift.
Say that again.
Say that again. I went to jail over and over again, standing on the information, living it for an elaborate grift.
You went to jail for pot.
No, I went to jail for no face covering once. I went to jail for going to the community center when they stopped me for treatments the second time. I went again for being stopped for traveling freely. Do I need to go on?
Without a license, without tags. You went to jail because you broke the law. You can wrap it around virtue and say,
okay, so you're now proving that you're a worldly, infidel, slave, fascist who thinks policy and code is law. This is why we can't get anywhere with you, because you're a dunce. You're a very low level consciousness and awareness. You can't even understand something simple like the difference between legal and lawful, statute, policy, and code and law.
Code is a collection of laws.
It's not. Code is a codification of the original public law. You don't know as much as I do. You're presuming I'm the fool when I have thousands of hours studying legal and lawful, and you have none. You've just gone to jail for meth, and you're projecting onto me that all I've ever went to jail for was pot.
Yeah, Paul's actually right here. It's executive branch versus legislative branch.
What are you talking about?
What makes you presume to know as much or more than what I do about legal and lawful when I have thousands of more hours into the subject and more?
Okay. What makes you presume you have thousands more hours?
Because you haven't once spoken on any of these concepts in a way that is coherent, concise, or cogent with any type of value or authentic expression or foundational understanding. You've yet to do it once, and we've been here with you for a year. You see, this is the thing with you prideful egotists. You think we can't look at you and listen to you until you're a dunce and don't know anything. We can.
Wizard couldn't do it. I came right at Wizard, his stamps, he moved, and he...
You just said code is a collection of laws. It's not. There's an original public law, and code and statute and policy is given the force of law. It's a codification of the original law, which is public safety, statute, policy, and code. It is a corporate endeavor. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying words, right? Because you can't conceive of the conceptualization I'm putting forth. Sheriffs uphold the law. Policy enforcement enforces policy. They're a dual jurisdiction. They're not the same. Similar, not the same.
If a sheriff pulls you over for not having tags, is he upholding code or law?
Again, he would be at that point, if you want me to help you out, he would be upholding common practice, which may be at this point considered common law locally. But universally, the foundational principles of common law would be incorrect.
So
okay? You cannot take somebody's right. You cannot take somebody's right to travel to force them to take instruments of a corporate body and to provide paperwork in order to engage in a right. It's been ruled on at the Supreme Court over and over again. You don't know 1/10 of what I know, nor have it committed to memory.
I know more than you. That's why I know that you're full of shit. Because I hear
there you go. And that's it. Now you went to ad hominem. I'm describing your condition and calling back to what you've said and done before. You're telling me I'm full of shit, but you can't substantiate your position, your argument with anything of any substance or value because you're a broken child with earrings and $100 jeans and a Star Trek shirt now because you went to the mall yesterday and a Ninja Turtles outfit yesterday. That's where we're at. And you're going to continue to convince yourself you're as good as me in broadcasting and everything else You're better than me at dealing with women. You're better at legal, lawful, and everything else. And you're in denial and you're fucking delusional. Okay? And I look forward to you being part of the Christina Jennifer broadcast that's coming end of January, if she agrees, because we're already in close contact, if you will. And we're going to show Flow State to be an angry, resentful, regretful hater who keeps projecting onto me while he sits with that same angry, miserable, resentful, catatonic bitch who neither of you can get to any lifestyle, or value, but you come online pretending, lying to yourselves, each other, and everyone else watching who will believe you. Okay? It goes nowhere.
Come on,
And I'm going to
camera.
take special pleasure in watching your face, like I always do, drop, and you try to control it and keep it together when you see all three of us on this panel come the end of January. You may see us jet setting on a cruise. We may be traveling. Who knows? We have a lot of plans, the three of us. So I'd love to see you and that wife of yours face and that daughter who you don't pay attention to or do anything with or obviously care for. It's so obvious and evident. Don't tell me what to do.
I have a question.
I'll throw you right out of here.
I know you will.
I'll throw your bitch ass right the fuck out of here. You're a coward. You're inauthentic. You present little to no value in life and on a panel. And I want little to nothing to do with you until you shape up or ship out. Get it?
What were the conditions under which you were released from jail? I've heard you say multiple times that you didn't sign anything. You don't have a court date. You're not going back in both New York and Colorado. What was the conditions under which they let you out?
Which time were we speaking of? Not that I have to answer to you. You never answer anything directly, so it's just odd you would get all the direct answers out of me, knowing that I'm honorable and authentic. But go ahead, I'll entertain it.
Okay. So
yeah, when I was on New York, I've spoken about this many times. You might want to pay attention since you're watching me constantly pretending you're not. I got an attorney on New York. There's multiple cases. You'd have to specify which land, what time are we speaking of, and what's the scenario.
let's just do the one when you got with the mugshot that I showed on my members only stream.
I didn't see it.
There's it's Colorado.
You presume I watch you as much as you watch me. You're delusional in denial again.
Well, I know that you have people that tell you things. It was in Colorado. It was pot, attempt to influence an officer, other hallucinogen, maybe. No tags, no license. That one.
Okay.
Why? What? How did that case play out? Why did they let you leave?
Well, they claim that they had a $1 bond. I didn't give them anything. And to my knowledge, what I remember is I didn't sign anything. Do you have paperwork there with a signature on it? Because I'd like to see it.
For when I made bond, yes, I do. I'm not showing it to you, but I do have it.
Well, so you haven't presented it?
To who?
I'm confused. You just said you did a broadcast with all the paperwork. Is it on the public record? Have you shown the signature?
Oh, for your bond, for your release? No, I just saw the
What is he not talking in circles, right? This is what a narcissist does. They talk you in circles. We're talking about me and my bond. Who else are we talking about?
I thought you asked me about my bond.
No,
So no.
What?
No, I haven't seen any paperwork for
You
your
asked
bond.
me about my bond and a signature. I said, to my memory, to the best of my recollection, that I did not give a signature at that event. Do you have a signature there? Because I want to see it to verify if it's mine, and I will
Not
tell
of yours.
you whenever.
No, not of yours.
Okay, so where are we going with this then?
So
So I was truthful again, is what you're saying, that I didn't pay the $1 bond. I didn't meet any of the bond or bail conditions. I already had previous warrants from Denver, according to you and everyone else. And I walked right out of there without a signature. Where are we going with this?
Where do you think we're going?
I don't know. You're
When
the
somebody just
prosecutor now.
leaves
I'm
jail
giving you
for
you're trying to make something out of nothing. You're making claims and then showing their false claims in trying to litigate the claim.
When somebody leaves jail for free and has no issues, then after that, it's a red flag. So that's why I asked you, without accusing you, why, under what...
Wait, so now you're saying it's a red flag because I did everything I said I did. When you pulled up the records, it's 1 for 1. Now I'm bad and wrong for that. So what, I'm an agent? Would I rat on somebody? What did I do?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. So we're going to create more casting doubt and aspersions and false claims instead of just maybe looking it all up and going, wow, everything Paulie Boy said he did, and it's all in the back records. Maybe he's telling the truth. No, you spin a lie into a bigger lie. That the only way I must have got out is ratting on people, or we don't know. So just keep digging your hole deeper, showing you're hating on me, jealous and envious, presume I'm lying, show everywhere you dig that I'm truthful, and then spin another lie while saying I'm the liar.
I just asked the question.
You just asked, I already said, you're going to have to go ask them why they'd let me out with $1 bond, not meeting any of the conditions. I'm not on record, nor have I ever ratted on anybody. So waiting for you or the state of Colorado to explain why Paulie Boy stands on the record, upholds the law, and keeps walking away. I don't know. Maybe they know something you don't. Maybe they know something I know that you and the rest of the slaves don't. Could you ever maybe consider that you're the fool in the room? You're not the smartest guy in every room. That might be me at this point, and you might be the fucking fool who won't just take the word for what it is or go look it up to understand it.
You haven't told me. I asked you what
I haven't told you. I just did tell you. I did not rat on anybody. I didn't pay him anything. I didn't sign anything, and I didn't promise to appear. So what's left?
So you were in jail, and they just came in the cell and said, "Paul, get your stuff. You're leaving." That's it.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I was arrested. The clown has so little experience. While I'm taking other people's cases on, researching and working with them, the clown has so little experience. He doesn't even know you can get arrested on a Friday. It could be a false interpretation by the officer. You're at the judge by Monday, the administrator, and with the proper documents, you're out 20 minutes later. He's never heard of that.
Ooh.
See,
because he's so bright and accomplished with legal lawful, he's never heard of that, which happens regularly in the circles I walk and deal with, to the point of dismissals going along with it because they don't want to litigate against this understanding.
Oh.
Which is that what happened? That would be a story, right? That's what I was looking for. If you said it was,
it's already been told over and over again, but you must have missed it, and you prefer to ignore what's been on record, to lie over it, to make yourself look better and me look worse, because you're an egotistical, narcissistic piece of shit.
Am I back on screen? Yep, I am. So, how did the mistake happen? How did
what mistake? How were you born? I don't know. Your father should have used a rubber.
So what happened in court and that got all those charges?
Waiting to answer to Slow State for some odd reason about all the lies he's telling about me. Waiting.
What happened in court that made them throw out all those cases? That's what I'm asking about.
I wouldn't know. I just told you for the 1,000th time. We'll try again. Try again for Slow State, who claims he's in a flow state. Claims he's in a flow state. Do you think you get every understanding of why they're doing what they're doing? Do you think that I circle back to ask?
Yeah, Paul was.
How would I know what they did when they said, "Do you want the 14th or the 16th?" I said, "I'm not coming back." Okay, we'll put it for the 4th.
Normally, you're in court when they hash these things out as the defendant. You're saying they did all this talking without you there?
No, I didn't say that.
Well,
how did you get that out of what I said? Lewis, do you want to help him out and tell him my story over and over again until Slow State can let it click in his twisted, methed out brain?
I mean, from what I understand, I don't want to go through the whole story. I would just say, Slow State, I don't believe you're paying attention. I believe you're just trying to spin a narrative in your own mind, right, of what's going on. You're not paying true attention. You're not really listening to what's going on.
We've also, by the way, never seen you with any other chick. So everything you've said about me applies to you.
Nobody's ever seen him with another chick.
I'm monogamous.
We know. You have no other choice.
No, I have a choice. I've been divorced.
You don't
I
have
filed for divorce.
options that are worthy of exploring, and you don't have a companion or a partner who will accept you for your nature. So you don't have the option.
I'm not going to go down this distraction with you.
We know you'll
But
deflect
because
away from that
you
as
still
well,
haven't
because
even-
you'll
I
get
wanna hear
shown
this.
to be a fool who's living a lie. We know, and you'll be projecting lies onto me that are going to be shown to be wrong again,
mean,
and
it
you're going to
should be
really
really
destroy
easy
your
to-
credibility and integrity
it should be-
soon.
should
You're
be
going to really
easy for you
destroy
to
your
explain.
credibility and integrity soon. Keep twirling around with me, son. Keep playing with me. It's going to go great for you all around. Bet
You
on it.
obviously believe something happened in his court in Colorado, wherever. What is it that you believe happened? Because
See,
you're not
that's what
paying
I'm not
attention
trying
to
to
what
do.
he's telling
Yeah,
you.
what kind
So
of
you must have
fantastical-
something in your mind.
Yeah, what kind of fantastical narrative have you concocted up for this one that you're going to present to the audience to try to demean me and mischaracterize me to make yourself feel better while you live a lie?
So
What's your next
instead of just-
fantastical narrative?
Instead of just explaining the truth,
It's been
You'd rather-
explained over and over again. You're too retarded to take it in, or you're too disingenuous to accept it and repeat it back. I went there, put the truth on record, gave them the affidavit that they required with a little pencil and paper, told them I wasn't going to present myself back there. They set a date. We walked outside. She said, "You can't leave without signing these papers." I said, "You ain't going to give me legal counsel. Go get the guy who runs the jail, the guy who I got the other person out of lockdown with." Remember, I told that story over and over again. I could tell the same story over and over, feel like I'm a dick, that it's like I'm so important, because I'll go, I told that story when I get off here. I told that story 4 times before. Apparently not enough, because he didn't hear it. So for everyone else who fucking heard it for the 1,000th motherfucking time, the guy who ran the jail came down and went paper by paper. And she said, "You going to sign this one?" I said, "Nope." She looked at him and he went like this. We went to the next one. "You going to sign this one?" "No." She looked at him. He went like this. We did that in succession until they were done, and I walked the fuck out, and I haven't been back since. And I went all my life. I don't know anything else beyond that to tell you. If you want me to tell you something I'm not aware of, I can't, because I'd be lying, even if it made me look good. And I wouldn't spend my time, energy, attention sitting around trying to think up a lie like you to make me look good and you look bad. I just tell you the truth of what the fuck's happened over and over again till it clicks in your slow state-like brain. And maybe one day you'll stand for rights, freedom, and principles. You'll understand the difference between legal and lawful. You'll put the common universal law on record, and you'll rebuke statute, policy, and code, because it's the law of corporations and persons who are a subsidiary of those corporations. Okay? That's been my purpose and walk, which you say you understand, but yet it's all a fraud and a grift. But I've lived on it so much so I've gotten results you can't explain, dummy.
I have an hypothesis. So the jail guard, the jail warden didn't want Paul in jail because Paul would have everyone else find the system using the bureaucracy.
they have solid.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. We don't care what you think and feel. You're a clown here trying to use the audience to pump your channel, and it's going nowhere. So this is a long game. You're bound to fail till you change yourself and your approach. With that said, that's not what happened. The administrator ordered a release for my body to be restored to the outer world. Once that administrator makes that order, no one can go against that order unless it's with official paperwork. So the jail guard, the warden, Jesus Christo himself, essentially within that system, can't undo that order that was just made. Wizard told you the same fucking thing. Wizard's had all the same experiences I had. It's just taken him longer and more drawn out. See, I get what the fuck I need in life quick somehow. That's what makes people think something else is working here. Overtime confuses the shit out of me as well. Just like it does Slow State and his ego, confuses the shit out of my ego as well. Because I don't feel special and unique. I'm just an ordinary man pursuing extraordinary knowledge. Turns out there's something bigger going on here. And it confuses the shit out of worldly, left-brained, low-state, slow-state infidels like you. It would confuse me as well if I stayed in that state of consciousness. But I make it a habit of practicing not doing so. That's also one of the correlations of why I'm living the way I'm living, getting certain results I'm getting, and able to speak the way I do, stream of consciousness from my heart. See? It all goes together. It's all one purpose and process that you say is a fraud and a grift.
Well, you said at the beginning that your thing is law. You've studied law. You helping people with their
I
cases.
didn't say that. I didn't say that. I've studied a myriad of things: psychology, sociology, theology, epistemology. Did I say sociology, anthropology? Do I need to go down the list? Biology. Do I need to go down the list of
Yes.
things I've studied so you can accept it? I'm sick of you. You're making me look more egoic and narcissistic by making me bring up all the things about me that I know of experience that don't matter as much to me or anyone else, because we're here to do certain things that matter the most. This is a you problem. Okay?
You don't understand your own case?
Again, I don't have, it's not my case. That's the thing. You know so little about legal and lawful and how to litigate. It's their case. It's the
Against
state
you.
of Colorado. It's the state of Colorado's case. I create my own case and I move that parallel and I convict them. They're in the room with me. I'm not in the room with them. They're doing fraud. You don't know anything about the common law, common practice, common parlance. You don't know anything about etymology. You don't know anything about self-knowledge and spirituality. And it's all over you, oozing from within. Please stop embarrassing yourself coming here, stay in your hole, make your false projections, spin narratives about me to make yourself feel better. You're only undoing yourself long game. Just because you can't understand things and figure it out doesn't mean everyone else is lying and grifting. That's your egoic narcissistic projection, and it's because you're a low-level loser failure. Stop making it everyone else's life and reality. Take some fucking responsibility and accountability of what you've created and what you've not done. Then you'll get better and do better and be better, and we won't be here having this miscommunication.
Put your hand down, little boy.
Is it my turn? Can I ask a question?
There is no turn here. You get what I give you. If you don't like that, get out.
Yeah, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Thank you, Hank. It's sort of a statement as well. So your story doesn't add up at all. They don't just give people these sort of charges, not let them
Help him out, Lou. I'm done with the retard.
If you understand the law so well, you should be able to explain this to people in a way that makes sense, and you can't do it. Possession, 2 to
You
6
can't
ounces of
explain
marijuana,
anything
no
to a retard in a way that it makes sense because he's a retard. I could explain it 10 different ways and you'd fail to understand, either because you're egoic and unwilling, you don't want to understand, or you're too slow state to get it. You're too slow on the uptake. So I'd be wasting my and everyone else's time, energy, attention. It might be good for effect, but you're just going to turn around and victim off this anyway and gaslight and say that I abused you and didn't let you speak and I was loud while doing it. So you can get more sympathy. She can get more false power and sympathy and play the victim like you do everywhere in your life. While you're the liar, you're the projector, you're the perpetrator, you're the infidel slave, you're the one casting aspersions and bearing false witness while you can't explain anything you've said. Then you expect me to come on here and explain what I can't answer to. All I know is self-knowledge and the knowledge of what I claim to, and I apply it and surrender the rest. How could I explain anything beyond that?
So you don't.
We're still waiting for you to explain all the things you can't explain because they're lies and projections.
Yeah, we need a lawyer to look this up for us.
You want me to explain a true and authentic record that you went and paid to dig up and found nothing in other than the unexplainable. The same way you'll find if you go looking for God and spirituality, what you can't explain, and then you'll project it onto everyone else. It's their problem.
It was free.
Yeah,
And,
we get a lawyer to look it up for us. It's not an issue.
It was free. No, it wasn't. You took your time, energy, attention to go do it, and that's your most valuable resource. But you're such a loser failure. Your time and energy, attention's only worth $1 a month, and you've sold your soul for less. Comfort, convenience.
What is attempt to influence a public servant?
Attempt to influence a public servant is me saying that if I'm able to, I'm going to take you to Supreme Court, and I'm going to litigate a case where I take your house and boat for depriving me of my rights under color of law. They tried to claim that was a bribe. Far from a bribe, it was a promise if I could get it done. And I'll say it here just like I'll say it there on the side of the road.
What was the controlled substance besides? There's something besides marijuana.
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
What, you want to do more projections? What was that? Ketamine? You just got a mind full of lies and projections you want to put onto me,
Well,
huh?
I asked you the question because
That
in
is
charge,
you, Slow State. You're the powder
that's the
sniffing,
charge.
powder pushing deviant who craves cocaine every other broadcast. You got to mention putting something in your ass or up your nose. That is you. Right? So no,
Controlled
I'm the guy
substance,
with nothing but plants and herbs way deep in the trunk that they did an illegal, unlawful search to get.
You're born.
Would you like to know what the supposed weight was as well?
Sure.
Less than an eighth, more than 2.5 grams. Be stuff. Big whale.
Do you
I'm
think it
still
was
not sure.
right that they put you in jail for selling a product to a willing participant?
You want to know how much cannabis it was too, deep in the trunk?
2 to 6 ounces, it says. But
More than that. They
I
must have
wanna-
not given me all the credit.
they normally do that. They didn't give me all the credit.
They
either.
normally give you less than what's there. No, they don't. They normally add
Yeah.
on. Another thing you don't know.
They normally get you to the next tier, so they can charge you a certain level, and then everything above that they take.
Doesn't matter. I could have had whatever the fuck I wanted
me-
there that I wasn't a direct threat with and wasn't causing any injury to the public and wasn't about to commit a crime with. All that's lawful property under God and God's law.
Yeah, and let me just take a moment and say that I am not opposed. Like, I agree with you that nothing you did in that situation with having pot, having trims, I don't think any of that is wrong or should be a crime.
So then where are you going with it then? What are you looking to do?
There's a
What are you looking to
difference
find?
There's a difference between law on the books that the guys with guns hold you to and philosophy.
They're not
The
holding
The
any
guys
laws.
with guns don't know the law. I have a stack of tapes that I've showed on my YouTube channel where they all admit freely they don't know the law. They know what they've been trained to do.
They don't even want to know the law because the minute they know the law, they're
They're
convicted.
just like you. They run around acting like they know the law. When push comes to shove, they have to cop to the fact they don't know it. And they have to call in a lawyer or a legal scum to try to double speak and play games.
Like, you just cop to the fact that you don't understand your own case.
It's not my case for the
It
third
is.
time.
God.
It's like dealing with a retarded special child. It's the state of Colorado's case that a person who claimed to be the people has to litigate, and they never showed up because they don't want to litigate against Paulie Boy because he's a silver and gold tongue gorilla and can write even better. I wouldn't
pretty
want to
sure
go up
that's not
against me
why.
if I was them, expose their whole fraud and illegitimate claim to authority with no delegation of authority and no chain of title. I wouldn't want to have to do that in equity. One of the maxims of law in trust, one of the maxims, the foundational principles of law. I wouldn't want to have to do that.
You think they're concerned about you causing an uprising with your?
It's not about an
fantastic-
uprising. You're not getting
You're
it. There's no
fantastic-
uprising. I'm way quieter there than I am here. I'm not dealing
No
with a bunch of
shit.
incompetent, incapable infidels. They're just corrupt, and they know who to be corrupt with and who not.
You're the one they don't want to mess with.
I didn't say that. I said it's a
was implied.
presumption. Yes, it's implied. Just like all the direct lies you tell, it's the opposite of that. It's an implication. I'm not claiming objectively anything. I'm presuming based on a pattern in history that they don't want to touch me beyond a certain point. As you say, the thugs on the side of the road who don't know the law. The administrators and the higher ups know the law, and they don't want to touch me with a 10-foot pole because they know it's going nowhere except emptying their pockets.
Well, you had shrooms and pot. You just admitted that, and that is illegal. So
I'm not interested in what legal and illegal is. I'm not a member of the legal society. I'm not even a member of the law society. There's two of them for a reason. I uphold the law. I'm not interested in legal policy and code. And the law is that a man is able to have all of fruit-bearing seed and plant that he is able to possess for his livelihood and his living, especially if he is deemed to be a farmer, which one could
What
say
law
that
is
I
that?
am technically at this point.
What law is that? Is that God's law? Is that natural law?
Again, I'm not going to sit here and explain to you a chain of title of codifications of original law when it's already been done over and over again. This is where the wizard preacher would come in and from his memory cite a whole bunch of U.S. codes and international codes that would clarify for your confusion what you can't or won't understand.
And
I
eventually he
don't
matches up to the
need,
Bible.
I don't need to have all that committed to memory, nor do I need to cite it, because the common law is still the foundational law of the land, and it's based on universal law, and it's codified in the contract you call the Constitution, and delineated into two jurisdictions: protected class and privileged class, private and public. That's all I need to know. I'm a very simple man.
It's
I
like
think you just made that a lot. Lou, what?
Sorry. I stepped in when you were talking. Go ahead.
No, I mean, go ahead. Go ahead. What do you want?
It's very similar to what I'm going through right now with my property. I'm in the process of putting everything I have, everything I own, everything I touch into an irrevocable living trust. And I'm naming my children as beneficiaries. So if I do this, I have the right, if I sell my land, whatever, I have the right to keep the proceeds for myself because it's my value. It's mine.
Depends on the
Right?
clauses.
If I don't do this, then they come in and say, well, now you owe us capital gains. Right?
It depends on the clauses in the trust and how the trust is structured. The
Right.
narrative that I hear Sav says, I'm not saying that you guys are that, whatever, that I hear a lot is that trusts are these magical silver bullets for taxes, and they're not.
Well, it's in their writings. They accept it.
And I don't know how Canada works either on that note.
Well, it's not, I don't believe it's very different than America personally. Am I echoing? I don't know. I hear some echo.
A little bit.
Yeah, Jimmy Shively down there makes a good point, but they'll never get it because it's the way they think that is their impediment. It's not what we're talking about and what we're thinking. It's the way they think. You swear in a Bible at court for a reason. That must mean the original law is within that Bible. So if you can interpret that original law properly and convey it properly with the proper countenance, you will be free from latches, vice, and bondage, as the word indicates. One of the foundational
symbolic.
Okay,
the Bible
that's
isn't the
thing.
law.
I'm not going to sit here undoing you from your worldly left brain, mind, and heart
Well, I'm
control
gonna tell
because
you
you
that.
don't understand the right brain intuitive concepts of life. You don't understand the metaphysical concepts of life. You don't understand the ideologies and philosophies that are the precepts of this system.
I do.
And
I
how it
understand what
functions.
role they play in it.
You don't. You don't understand the esoteric. I know for a fact you don't.
But the esoteric isn't what you have to argue in court.
Again, that's not what you, a regular slave, has to argue, because the way you think will bind you and trap you. With someone like me knowing what I know, the way I think is what frees me. I'll go back to the Tao before courts ever existed. A man's own thoughts unguarded are his own worst enemy until conquered. Then a man's own thoughts are his best friend, can help him more than even his own mother and father can.
So you
Okay,
convince
so
the
you
judge
don't
to let you
understand
out with the
hermetic
Tao.
principle. You don't understand as above, so below. You don't understand that as the mind goes, the man follows. All is mind, all is mental. You don't understand your truest resource. All you understand is worldly power, value, and systems. You don't understand the inherent hierarchical power and value systems that give way to everything that we see and experience here. You're lost, broken, confused, projecting onto me, and I'm having to be your daddy to explain how the universe and its laws work, and you're not even paying me, nor are you thanking me. You're hating on me while asking me to do it. It's bizarre. But I appreciate it. It's good content. I mean, we've run the numbers up here.
Where are we at now?
Did you hear what he
206.
just said, Flow State?
Yeah, he gave a lot
Can you give it back to me for what's the paraphrase?
Yeah, paraphrase. He was gloating about how much he understands the
I'm not
esoteric
gloating.
law.
I'm not gloating. I'm not gloating. I'm passionate about the truth. I'm confident in my knowledge of self, if nothing else, and my ability to convey that. Full stop. Nothing before or after. I'm far from gloating. My ego is just as confused as yours is, and I would remain that way if I did not make a practice of checking it to go beyond.
Lou, what
I'm
do you
not
think about that?
special. I'm not unique. I don't have a superpower. I don't claim to be God in the flesh beyond anyone else being that, including you. and we're all oneself on the highest level. Beyond that is the lowest level choice based on interpretation, apprehension, and application. I'm not responsible or accountable for your version of that, nor am I for anyone else's.
Wasn't it this exact stream earlier when you said that you've done more than Alex Jones or Donald Trump?
I said literally on the ground physically, yes, I have. Because those are men who will not show up at court without another man speaking for them. And I've already moved past that idea and gotten results you and I can't explain that you'd have to go to the state of to find out. And I'm sure they're not going to convey what the reason is. Maybe it's not over yet. Did you ever consider that? I have. Maybe they're still investigating me. Maybe you're one of them. Maybe you got caught up like Beauchene and Pathetic Warrior and all the rest, admitting you were at January 6th and part of the Proud Boys. And maybe you're working off a federal case by helping to indict me, by getting me to speak in a moment of candor on all the things I may not want to talk about in public.
So now you're going to try to make
So
up
we
the
may
narrative.
not. So we may not be over yet, right? And I'm highly aware of that as well.
Well, I know how all my cases concluded. I know that there wasn't never a case for me because
I'm really not interested in what you claim to know and don't know. You've already shown me either you know more and aren't telling, or you know less than you need to know in order to speak with me about what it is that you're claiming.
Well, I know how being a defendant is, and I know that if
you know how being a defendant is, and that's great for their slave system. I don't know how being a defendant is because I don't accept any titles or status. I'm not a defendant. I'm a man of the people. You don't know what you need to know about legal and lawful common law. And just by speaking, you get yourself wrapped up in their jurisdiction because you don't know how to think, let alone what to think.
your status as a defendant is not dependent upon you acknowledging it.
Again, that is your presumption and belief. I'm not interested. The law is expressed, not implied. If you're going to make an implication or a direct claim that you've altered my status on paper to that of a defendant, you're claiming I am lacking the ability to fend for myself, or you're claiming I'm in a defensive position, which I'm not, because I'm not a combative man and I'm not at war. Yes, the words mean something and the position means something and the status means something, and you just don't get how it all comes together and how it works.
I do, though.
You don't. And that's where we're going to let it lie. You claim you do. I claim you don't. I'm laying out my understanding. You're not laying out yours beyond what they've told you. And we're going to let it lie there, and the people can make up their mind like they always do.
Do you want me to lay mine out? I will.
Sure, go ahead. I'm sure I've never heard it before.
Well, you're not responding to it. You're just saying it's wrong. That
I know. I'm not doing anything right for you here today. I know. I'm not fulfilling any of my obligations. I'm not answering anything directly. I'm not giving you the floor completely to question me and be accountable and doing everything you won't do. I know. I could do better. You should help me.
What do you think, Hank?
I think Paul answered your question to as best as his ability.
Right.
So you may have to get a lawyer to assist you to translate to legalese.
When the state presses charges, criminal charges against a defendant,
Who's the state?
Colorado in this case.
How could the state of Colorado press charges when there has to be a valid claimant named on the charging instrument? That is the foundation of law.
I guarantee the cop's name is on there.
The cop cannot be the third party impartial witness, nor can he be a valid claimant. He has a conflict of interest. He's an employee of the state of. So how could he be the claimant, the witness, the arresting officer, and the judge and jury on the side of the road who made an arrest without an administrator's order?
So my answer is I'm answering literally how it works, not what I think is right.
Yeah, exactly. You're answering what you see that we all see conceptually on the shallow level when we all show up at court. You're telling us what all the other worldly slaves see and think, but you're not giving us any clarity about how it works and where the foundations come from and how it all fits together with common sense and logic. You're also not bringing up the paperwork where I asked the administrator on record how many jurisdictions this court preside over. He said 2. Common law / constitutional, administrative, corporate. He put that on record. So the fact that you don't understand what that means, yet that is the window into how this all works, is really not my problem. I can't understand it for you. And for you to sit here, go ahead, waste our time, energy, attention, telling me how you think it works based on what you see, when we already know you're the type of person who looks and does not see.
America was created as an attempt to stop exactly what
It's
you're
called
talking
blind leading the blind, and he still doesn't know he's the blind man in the room. I'm the one-eyed man who is king.
No, I can see. That's why it doesn't. Nobody's helped by ignoring the world the way it is. We live in the world. I'm explaining to you how it is, and you're ignoring that in favor of what you want it to be. It's delusional.
No, that's not the case. There's an etymological sound understanding that is spoken about. The origination is common lore, because all of law and philosophy is passed down orally, not the way you would want it to be spoken. Okay. And through that understanding, we get courts and codifications and legislations. So you might want to do another 5 years at least, another couple thousand hours of study on the origination of law and lore, how it all comes down through the matrix system that we experience on the lowest, most shallow, worldly, earthly level, and really put the pieces together about how this all came about. Because it's a spoken word process, codified and put on paper, and moved by men and women who have to convince everyone in the room that something took place one way or the other.
So what is that background story?
It's an act. It's a play. It's a performance. That's why your laws are called acts. They wrote another act. It's a stage show. A person is a government entity. Also an actor, because person means mask in Latin. When you used to originally do a stage show before this system, they would do acts and plays to communicate philosophical ideas and concepts that were archetypal. Court is an offshoot of all of these things. The church, the stage. It's a place to settle grievance first and foremost between man and woman. If you don't have a man and woman on the charging instrument on both sides, you don't have a valid claim or case. All you're doing is public safety and corporate procedure.
Cops sign the charging instruments. That's how it happens. The cop signed yours.
He doesn't understand how a legitimate court works. He's going to tell us about a kangaroo court that's long since been defunct and debunked.
Red coats, only now they wear blue. That's all.
Again, I agree that the courts are bullshit. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. What I'm saying is they are in existence. You are accountable to them, because if not, they'll just come with guns and get you.
But again, you just said, how did I do what I did? Because I have a knowledge you don't possess and can't understand. So every question contains its own answer. Every problem contains its own solution. You just can't apprehend it.
He's also not willing to stand on it, Paul.
What do you mean I can't apprehend it? They haven't come for me yet. It's been 3 years since I've left there, whatever it is, 2 years. No one's come for me with guns yet. I don't know completely where it's going. You don't know either how and why they let me out, not meeting any of the conditions, not giving them their dollar for bond, which is unheard of with warrants from Denver and all the rest of it, according to you in the courts, and no signature. You can't explain how it works. So if you can't explain how anything works on any level, is it possible I can? Because I have a knowledge and understanding you don't. And rather than you listen to it and take it in, you'd rather fight it, resist it, and rebuke it for your shallow materialistic worldview that everyone else has.
I can't get you to stay on topic without branching off into the...
There is no topic. That is the topic. Your low-level conscious and awareness, and you keep fighting yourself, claiming it's me. You go figure out yourself in life and what you're going to do. I don't even have to claim any of this is legitimate and show you the origination point. I'm telling you simply, I have a conviction in my heart. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Come get me and do your worst. What don't you get about that? What don't you get about that on the lowest level as a man? What don't you get about that on the lowest level as a man? I'm going to do and say whatever the fuck I want, and the devil can be damned to come and stop me.
There's a lot of people with that attitude in solitary.
What don't you get about it?
Why you're free.
Right, because you're a hater, you're jealous, you're envious, and you want me locked up and put in jail because you're a hating, jealous, shallow, envious, narcissistic piece of shit. And I believe you're an agent working off charges, just like Pathetic Warrior, Bo Cheney, and the rest. I think you got caught at January 6th with the Proud Boys.
So
and
you're
I
hitting
think
me
you were
with the
trying
I
to
am
get me.
rubber, you're a
And I
glue.
think you messaged me privately and asked me what my income was and all the rest of it because you want to get me fucking indicted and you want to have me put in prison. You just admitted it subconsciously. Why is he free? Why isn't he in prison yet? You better go to God with that or the devil. Stay the fuck away from me and stop projecting onto me because it's not going to end well for you. Now you can take your leave, and I don't care if you ever come back here. And I just threw you out of the back. And if you're restreaming me, you can end that too. Because I'm done with you. I've been done with you for the longest time. You can't stand that I'm done with you. And the fact that I'm done with you and that they haven't done me in yet eats at your ego, along with many other things I do that you can't do or won't do because you're a fucking poor, broke, loser, low consciousness coward. So keep trying to do the equivocations with me and equalizations with me and power struggles and competitions. It goes nowhere for you. All you did was give me more fucking content. Thank you. And you're going to go on later and promote me indirectly again. Thank you. There is no hate I have for you as a being in my heart. I don't like what you do and I don't have to. You're a worldly infidel who lacks faith. You're bad faith and you're dishonorable. Worse than that, you're fucking stupid. I could work with someone who is devilish and intelligent and had discernment. We could get somewhere, but you're like a broken child. So I don't know what to do with you, where to go with this. I just gave you the basic understanding. Throw all my explanation of legal lawful out the window. Throw it all out right now. I'm going to do what the fuck I believe is true and what's right. And I don't give a fuck what any worldly piece of shit, corrupt infidel in a costume says about it or has to do something about it. And if you want to come for me, you can come bring me off to a cell and we'll have a conversation like we do at court. And if you want to keep me, I'll just fucking level up again and come out of that cocoon better than ever. Don't test me. Don't try me. Have it your way. I'm walking in faith, not by sight, and I've surrendered the rest. You wouldn't know what it's like to live like that and to reap the blessings and the rewards and benefits and also have to stand to the challenges and the sacrifices. You wouldn't know it for 3 seconds. So there's no point in talking about it. Your thoughts, expert panel, on that interaction? We went about an hour over, no problem. We were in the heat of the moment. We were having such a great time, at least I was. Were you guys having fun?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to the day I have my falling out with you. I'm important not to have my falling out, have all my dirty laundry aired out that I didn't publish myself. I'm looking forward to that.
You don't seem to do what the rest of these clowns do, along with some others, so I don't perceive there will be a falling out. But hey, if there is, I'd rather have it with you than the rest of them. I'll be honored to have a falling out with you compared to the rest.
Just let it out. Let it out. What's on your mind? Come on. Just let it be honest, straight up. Lay it out.
It's nap time.
You're obviously feeling guilty. If you think there's something coming, you got some kind of feeling up inside you.
I feel it's time for a nap. I've been up since what time did I wake up? 1? I woke up before my alarm clock. So.
And Slow State, look forward to the Three's Company episode coming soon by the end of January. Because that friend, oddly enough, that Pathetic Warrior, listen to how they are, right? They shit on me and project on me while they pretend, and then behind the scenes they hit up Jennifer and say, hey, I saw your friend, can I get her number because you want to fuck her, right? Jennifer goes, no, I ain't giving you shit. You go talk to yourself, get it your own way. Yeah, well, that same person he was hitting on is coming out here to see us and hang out with us. So we're going to be doing a broadcast together, all three of us. So you can look forward to me, the Fat Jack Tripper, doing Three's Company, coming this January to a screen near you while you keep sitting there projecting, hating on me in your jealous, envious ways with that angry, miserable bitch next to you. And neither of you can get to any value and power in your life together because 2 dead batteries can't make the car go. Remember that. Know it like you know your name.
Are you going to invite O'Shea?
Oh, everyone's invited, man. We're all going to hang out, smoke some reefer, talk about polyamory, which is loving freely and not being limiting, self-limiting.
You're not going to fuck O'Shea, though, right?
Probably not. You never know. I mean, I don't want to write anything off, but probably not.
He might like it. That's all I'm saying.
No, he should
Sorry.
be able to enjoy something.
All right, listen, you guys are already boring me. If I'm not fired up and kind of dressing down flow state, and really kind of putting the mirror up and showing him who and what he is, along with the rest of the folks.
Well,
and
you
letting him
blew your
convict himself.
fucking load. You blew
Yeah,
your
listen,
load.
I'm already an hour over anyway. So that's the thing. I already gave everyone bonus content, and obviously
Next
it's not
time,
appreciated.
relax.
What else is
Relax. Don't do it when you want to go to it.
It's not about relax. I was very relaxed, so relaxed that I spoke every word without a stumble or a stutter step.
I'm not. I'm
You
just
think
fucking.
that you think that I do combat, even verbally, if you want to call it that, from an unrelaxed state, not knowing
Can you
myself, not peaceful? No, it just looks that way. It just feels
Can
that
you
way.
take a joke?
There is
can you
no
take a
joking
joke?
here, Lewis. I'm
I'm
ready to
asking
leave.
you though.
I'm
Yes or
ready
no?
to leave. I'm ready to leave.
Okay.
Hello,
Ask-
Lewis. It's
okay,
me.
He's
but
hungry.
It's your
I'll go.
friend.
I'll
Hello,
go.
it's the white
I'll
gorilla.
go.
It's all enslaved. Your best friend in the world. I'm ready to leave. I'm done with the online digital experience. I'm done with the metaversal miscreants. I have a whole life in a world out there I could go experience and live. I don't need to be here any more than the 3/4 hours and 8 minutes I've already been here. It's demeaning to me. It's a waste of my time, energy, and attention. You see how I said that? Listen to that again. My time, energy, attention. Because I'm working more and more into valuing myself, my time, energy, attention by observing these folks and seeing what they don't do, right? What they do and don't do. And then I just conform to that, right? I go, oh, this is what loser failures do. Not value their time, energy, attention, show up and give little to no value conversation, project and do lies and hating, and then leave and act like they did something. I'm over the whole thing. And I'm like strongly considering creating a whole other channel and doing completely different content and not even letting anyone know about it and not even being known for it. Like you won't even know that I'm doing it because I just don't care to even be seen or heard or known anymore. It's about the truth and the information. If you want it, I really don't even care to like be seen as like funny and attractive and all the rest of it. I'm over the whole scene in this moment. Right. And I kind of have been, it seems, for a while. I kind of came into this a little bit disenchanted about what it all is and where it goes. I'm sure you've seen and felt that. So
Yeah,
whatever,
well-
maybe that's my detriment. Maybe that's what keeps me grounded and humble.
I mean, this world is what it is, right? These people
Slow
are
state's
lost.
back. Slow
They're
state, why
lost.
are you back? I threw you out.
Sorry.
I know. Why'd you throw me out?
Because I'm over you. I'm over your nonsense. I'm over the game. I'm over the push-pull. I'm over the disingenuous presentment and having to explain the whole world to you. If I wanted a child, I'd go dump a load in someone.
I don't even remember where we were when you threw me out.
I don't either. I'm in the moment completely. I'm Jack Talcott before Jack Talcott was Jack Talcott. So I've completely already surrendered what happened. I'm moving forward. I'm winding down and wrapping up. I'm not addicted to the shindig, as you like to say. Quite the opposite. I'm repulsed and repelled by it.
You engaged in a lot of it.
No, I come on to do a broadcast. See, you're confused again. You're forcing me to have to explain myself and the world to you. It's just
No, I'm not.
it's a quality. If we were to hang out, it'd be like hanging with a broken hoe. I got to explain every move, everything I'm doing, what the next move is, where it's going, why I'm doing it. It's too much. Again, I'm already bringing another woman into our situation. I'm probably going to have to do a lot of this with her up to a certain point. I don't want to do it with you. I'm not fucking you and you're not making me any money. And the conversation is rather boring and low level. So I don't see where there's any value coming from me and you interacting.
How did
Yeah,
you?
Paul,
I'll
can I
change the
get
topic.
Mhm.
Hank, stop being an instigator. How did you decide that on that microphone?
Well, I looked into what was reported to be one of the better quality microphones that was known for the bass element because I wanted a more of a bassy element. And it was plug and play, pretty simple. I didn't have to get a mixer or a separate device, which a lot of those Shure and other microphones, as I understand it, you might need that. Yeah, and it was budget friendly, so to speak. I think that the Shure microphone you have is around $200, $300. This one is 100 or 120, and arguably sounds as good, if not better.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one was. I don't think it was even that much. It was. I don't know. It was gifted to me though.
Right. What were the odds you actually bought something that you're using there in that house? I mean, when you're a loser, user, failure, it tends to carry over everywhere in your life.
I've got women who support me.
Okay. Well, you know what they say
Actually,
about
wasn't
women
women
who
who bought me,
support you. If you're getting large amounts of cash and or microphones, you're a fraud.
Who's living off of older women giving you large chunks of cash. Guess what? You're a fraud.
Right.
Except a $60 microphone is hardly thousands of dollars, and she's not old either. She's young. She's actually she's a model. You want to see her? She's hot.
No, I'm really not interested in looking at women who you think are hot, because the fact that you're attracted to her probably shows me something that I already know, right?
Mm.
Like I'm not into necessarily doing the whole, do you want to see this chick? She's hot. I mean, we all have that in us, obviously. I played into that at times, but I like to go with a little bit of a broader scope and spectrum for where my value is located. That makes sense. All right, let's wrap up. I'm doing a lot of speaking lately. My throat is getting stressed.
Paul's hungry.
I haven't drank any water. It's very taxing being a god of all media professional broadcaster.
I've heard that's a lot of work.
Well, not really. It's mostly just counting the things other people gift me. You wouldn't know that experience. Go ahead and let's wrap up here. Give the final word.
I'll go first. I don't have any final word. I am streaming on my own stream now. You are welcome to.
All right, we'll see you later. That was Slow State, everybody. Great stuff. We're going to let him go. He just can't help but to be a loser failure who tries to use everybody who comes into his life to his own detriment. So good luck with that endeavor. I look forward to seeing where that brings you and everyone around you. I'm going to do what I do, of course, what I've always done up to a certain point, and what I'll continue to do, because that brings not only me value, but everyone else in this experience. And I think there's something to learn here. If not, there's a source of pretty consistent inspiration, empowerment, energize, quality, if you will. Maybe some entertainment, right? Because a lot of folks just like to hate watch me because I'm a wild and crazy guy, Brian O'Shea, right? I'm like an online trailer gorilla. I'm always like hooting and hollering and throwing musk everywhere and smoking reefer. Boy, am I a hoot, huh? Give me a final word. Touch the people. No, not like that. I mean, speak something that they're going to resonate with.
Oh, yeah. I'll go next. Leon Panetta, you're bored. We're going to play some computer games, and we're not going to fight Iran.
Great stuff.
Yeah. Threatening to go do your own channel, incognito, and leave us miscreants to fucking wander in the wilderness. How dare you? But no, man, good show. I appreciate it, man. And I invite all people back to the pen. I don't know how you feel about it, Paul, but I don't know. Like you said, I had a different thing. I thought, these people, I thought if Flow State and these people come back, they'll give an inch, dude. They don't give an inch, dude. Like, they were
well,
on the show.
When you only have 3 inches, it's hard to spare an inch. You know what I'm saying? O'Shea?
Right.
I don't want to be too personal, but that woman that Slow State's with, she's giving me the report. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, so all you
I only joke about having a small penis. For others, it's a reality.
Like I said, I don't know how you feel about it, Paul, but I'm inviting all the miscreants tomorrow to come and just show your fucking face. I mean, I want to have some retardness.
We don't want to see them. That's the thing. I'm probably going to eat shortly before I come on air, and I don't want to look at these people. So you can invite them over to your area where you fail at poker, but I don't really want them here.
Right. I mean, I'm saying
it's disconcerting for what I do, right?
Come with a fucking smidge of a fucking open mind or open arm. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Seems retarded to me. But
you're assuming he has a closed mind. O'Shea. You're assuming.
Yeah.
Don't make
All right,
assumptions.
Luigi.
You know what happened.
I'll leave you to do it. Peace and love and
Peace. Yeah,
And
no,
also,
I
by
got.
the way, real quick, Lewis, it's only right. If you, your friends or family want to help support someone who is disempowered, disingenuous, downtrodden, delaminated, and such, etc., please take advantage of what may be considered one of the best values on YouTube and online, the Slow State $1 a month premium membership. With that membership, you'll be entitled to various emoticons, of which are really meaningless and have little to no value, but they're fun. Go ahead, go on over to Slow State's hole, which probably smells, and make sure you do the premium subscription. Only $1 a month, not only to support him selling his soul, but maybe sell a little bit of yours too for the holiday season, right? For the new year. Why not, Lewis? We're on a highway to hell. If you're walking on ice, you might as well dance, huh?
I don't know. I don't want to assume whether anybody's an agent or not. It's hard to know, and you can't say you know when you don't know. But the signs they're there. It's like he's saying, similar to what you're saying. How did they let you out? Well, he can't see anything other than, a rat or whatever, because maybe he's an agent, right? I hope not. But how do you know, right? I would just suggest, and I'll get out of here, to Slow State, Dick State, whatever you want to call them. I would ask yourself the question, was it lawful for the state to put your life, your child's life, your family's life, and everybody around you at stake for you selling a product to a willing participant, having a
There you
deal
go.
with
Gary Baxter now is jump ship. They're always fans before they become haters. Maybe Paul is a rat. Yes, maybe. Maybe everyone's a rat. Now you got to come with the paperwork. Now you got to go get in touch with everybody who's known me, who should have no problem putting that all together, right? I've been in many situations. You got to figure, if I was ratting off heroin, doing rights, freedom, and principles, I had to have been ratting when I was on dope. So it shouldn't be too hard to come up with all the times I've been arrested. As you say, he wanted to bring up arrested for pot. Go back to New York. I was arrested multiple times. Was I ratting there? If I wasn't ratting there with a needle in my arm going through sickness in the jail cell, I probably wasn't ratting when it comes to right, freedom, and principle. I don't know that. So, yeah, maybe everyone's a rat. Anybody's a rat. But then you got to pull their card and the record, and then you're going to have to show that. And then we're going to have to stand on what it looks to be and what it seems to be. So, hey, you like it, I love it. You think I could come up here and look everybody in the face day after day and do what I do, knowing on my conscience, on my mind, and on my heart that I was ratting or lying? No, nobody's that good, sir. You're tricking yourself right out of position. I know it's hard to believe that there may be one motherfucker out there at least who stands on business and lives their information. It is possible. Don't poison the well. So I issue a challenge. If any of you could dig through my background and find out where I was ratting and where I didn't live my information beyond a certain point, I never ratted. But obviously on New York, or not so obviously, before I got into the rights, freedom, principles, legal, lawful, heavy, early in my years, when I was getting arrested, I dealt with attorney the first couple times, right? Cop to plea, right? I told you all the story. I'm not going to go into it again. One of my first introductions to legal and lawful was one of the last times I was arrested with drugs on New York. And I just told them, I'm using them. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm not hiring representation. And I don't believe you have an authority to tell me what I can put in my body and what I can use in private. You said you seem pretty intelligent. You might be able to get by with this. I don't think you know what you need to know to avoid getting slayed at the trial. That's what the administrator took me aside and told me. The woman seemed like a pretty honorable woman. She said, you seem like a bright guy. You seem to know what the fuck you're doing and what you're talking about. I don't think you're going to make it, though. And she was probably right. Because at that time, they'd have just wrapped me up 5 different ways with their lingo, and they'd have had whatever they needed anyway. So we did the 28-day rehab situation, right? And
if
the
you're
rest is
a rat, if you were a rat, you'd be a pretty fucking cheap rat, in my opinion. Sorry, I may not know all the charges from what I understand, your history is. I mean, the most you're gonna would have done for any of the charges you've been involved is okay. Let's go high, 2 years. That's a pretty cheap rat. I mean, like,
It's a little bit longer than that what they were talking, but you also have to remember that I've been in the game for a while and I know what they do. They like to
Yeah.
scare you and use fear. Fear is the biggest tactic.
Yeah.
So anytime I
Yeah.
get arrested or anything happens, I don't even let them enter my consciousness. That's how I do what I do here partially. I've gotten so good at not letting anybody trick me out of position and talk me into fear. I just go, hey, do whatever you're going to do. Don't even tell me about it. I don't want to know because I'm going to stay on my process. And when you start talking to me, I just tune you the fuck out because I already know with the majority of folks, they're bullshitting, they're lying, they got their own agenda. It just is what it is. And then you start to feel into who's being real and honorable and who's like everybody else, so to speak. Because, most people will lie. The question is where, why, how, all the rest of it. I try to make it a practice as much as possible to not do that, not even tell white lies around the house or wherever else. So
I'm just talking about the, whatever heroin charges or shit like that. I'm not sure what it was. Something to do with when you were still using. But as far as
there's been multiple charges since where they try to talk about 3 to 5 years, whatever the fact. But again, when you come down to it, that's all them trying to throw the worst at you, right? All maximums and this and that, and we're going to compound it. Right. That's the worst case scenario. And we know you ain't going to be able to litigate that and get that done because I'd have to turn state's evidence to substantiate all them claims there. And that ain't going to happen. So everybody who's in the game after a certain point knows you don't talk. If you're going to talk, you better be very careful about what the fuck you're saying and how you're going to move it at court and substantiate it because they're going to use it against you. Right. And if they're going to remix, they're going to do it anyway. So just let them remix on whatever they got. We'll handle it at court and it's going to shake out however it's going to shake out. There's no point in me ratting because then I trick myself out of the authentic experience of taking court all the way through and potentially winning. If I lose, I get whatever I expected. I already expected to die or go to prison when I was young because I was fucked up. Now that I don't live like that, if that has to happen, I surrender over to that. Why would I rat and trick myself out of my integrity and credibility when I could potentially win or just do the sentence and be better off for it, come out better than ever? That's how I live and think at this point. I'm not willing to trade my credibility and integrity for the self-growth and the self-development and self-knowledge. That would be ridiculous because I got to live with me in the cell or out. That's knowing yourself and your conscience and how things work, right? How to build yourself up or how to maintain versus how to self-sabotage and wind up hating yourself and back on the dope. I can't rat. If I start ratting and lying, it's a slippery slope to going back to the dope. And I don't want to go back on dope. So I got to like who and what I am, and I got to live my truth and my information, and I got to be radically authentic and accountable. That's the only thing that's going to get it done to build self-worth, self-esteem, and self-value, or to maintain that. Go ahead, Lewis. I got to get the hell out of here. I don't have to. I love you. I appreciate you. I respect you and your walk and your journey and your process. I want the best for you and everyone else within the sound of my voice, regardless of how it seems. Go ahead.
One thing I sent you, I don't know if you can play it. I couldn't figure it out, but there's a thing called Sovereign Citizen Bingo. That video I sent you of 60 judges. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, but it made no sense. You sent me an email saying maybe we'll play it. It's something meant for those people who hate on people.
No, I sent it after. In that video, there's a link for what those judges were doing. They were trying to blow some smoke up some young kid's ass, ready to send them to a foreign country to die. And so they wanted to do it quietly and in private. And then they were playing this Sovereign Citizen Bingo. Literally, these 60 judges. And I sent it in a link after a second email. See if you, I don't know, maybe I sent it wrong. I don't know how to do all the PDF shit. But look up Sovereign Citizen Bingo. I think it's in the link.
Chuck's never going to get it either. Chuck's never going to get it either. I'm not a martyr. First of all, anyone who walks in the faith, you claim to be a follower of Christ or a servant of God. If you're a servant of God, then you give yourself over to the walking way as you perceive it. And you would understand that to God's people, martyrdom is the highest achievement. So even if I was claiming I'm a martyr, that's the highest achievement to a man who walks in faith, which you claim to be, and you're not. But I never said I was a martyr. I said I'm in this for self-growth, self-knowledge, self-confidence, and faith through all things. That means you have to live into your conviction and surrender the rest, no matter what they say and do to you. Full stop, nothing before or after. I'm tired of explaining myself and the walk in the way to a bunch of low-level consciousnesses and or cowards, because the majority of these folks are not too stupid to understand. They're too cowardly to drop their fucking ego and walk in a new way that might require some work or some consequence and sacrifice. So please, save it. We don't need to hear your fucking projection and opinion anymore. We know you're going to hate on me and never stop. Keep paying Slow State. Keep paying Steve and everyone else to be friends with you. It goes nowhere. If you like it, I love it. You bring little to no value or conversation to my life or my panels. What do I do with you? While spending time hating and projecting onto me and then twisting a narrative of who and what I am to fit your lack of understanding. You, Slow State, Jack, and the rest of you are perfect for each other. Stay the fuck over there. Save your time, energy, attention typing. We don't want to hear it. The kingdom of Unslavia has spoken. I'm now speaking for everyone here who's been riding from the beginning. We're not interested in what you think, what you say about old Paulie boy. You're not going to do what he does. You can't do what he does in many venues, and you're not going to because you're a coward. So just save your projections and typing and opinions. Go sit in the mirror with yourselves and your family and reconcile and do some repentance and do some reprioritization and reformation and recreation. The word is recreation, recreation, right? Spelled the same. So go spend your time, energy, attention on that. I watch you guys constantly. Whenever I check in, you're there, right? I don't watch constantly, but it doesn't matter when I pick, you're there. So that tells me you're always there. Because if I check in once every week or 2 weeks, you're there. If I check in once a day, you're there. All right. So I already know that your time, energy, attention is worthless to you. Please don't project that onto me. I'm trying to get out of the generational curses and bonds that have been holding us back. You're not. So you're free to do whatever you please, think and feel how you want. The more that you speak, the more you convict yourself and look like a fool to those who have discernment and walk in the way. Go ahead, Lewis. Please give me the final word.
I'm going to go because I don't want to hold you anymore. Thank you. Love you. Good
Peace
night.
be upon you all. Right. Peace and blessings to all, because we're all oneself on the highest level. On the lowest level, there's a conditional level of trust and respect that's going to come with good faith and honorability and the willingness to communicate openly and honestly in a venue like this or another venue. If you can't get that understanding together, we're probably going to go nowhere, and you're going to spend the rest of your time confused about me, triggered about me, projecting onto me, hating on me, or just ignoring me altogether, which is like also maybe a good thing. Maybe you just completely forget I ever existed and just ignore me and go back to whatever it is you were doing before. I'm not down on that. Doesn't have to be the Paulie show like the Truman Show. I don't have to be in your life or in your beingness or in your routine. Sure, many folks have chosen to make that a part of their life and lifestyle. Is we're done with him and whatever he does, and we got whatever value, or we don't see value. Whatever. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Creature Tommy is down there. Paul is stalking us. Right. I'm stalking everybody else. It's totally not the other way around. Breathe. R. Paul says, thank you, R. Paul. Let's do a breathing exercise. Let's go ahead. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale through the mouth. I may have something for that. What I should have had this ready. It's my mistake. Should have had this ready for our Paul, and I didn't. He's a fan favorite. You know what? Whatever. It doesn't exist. I had a breathing exercise. Okay. No, I'm not even going to bring that up. Okay, I'm going to let it go there. We'll leave it there. Wet stream. There you go. I'm uncomfortable. Right, you're very uncomfortable with yourself in silence. That shows in your everyday presentment. I've seen you. You tell me. You're very easily made uncomfortable and awkward, right? You're very insecure and fearful and restricted, right? Many of you are very self-limiting. It's easy to get you awkward and uncomfortable. It's a little bit more difficult for me. But of course, it still exists. I'm only human, people. Down with the King, Run DMC, Unslavia, Unblock, the Miscreants. I don't have anyone blocked this time. All I usually do is 5-minute timeouts. I don't block anyone completely. Later, Mr. Pig, right? Oink, oink to you and the rest of the supposed granny panty weaponized Karens out there. Snafu Snap says. Angeline grabbed the bone saw. All right, we're cutting meat again. How's that for comfortability, you tell me? Saying lies. Okay, you're accusing me of lying again. They're doing it again. Who do I have blocked and banned? Go ahead. Who's blocked and banned? You're lying again by saying I'm lying. To my knowledge, I don't have anyone blocked and banned. If you want to go ahead and name him, I'll check, but I'm not aware of that. You wear the granny rannies around here. Yes, right. She's another angry, bitter, resentful person who's constantly looking for a fight online. No matter how much you just kind of let it go and simmer down and, try to be of good humor with these people, they just can't reconcile their feelers and their broken dreams and, all the rest of it. I'm out of here, people. Another successful broadcast, I'm going to call it. Why? Because the God of all media was hosting. I, one Paul Unslave. I will be back tomorrow, somewhere between the 12 and 3 MDT hour, as is usual. Pathetic Warrior is now going to be on Jesse's 150 live viewer broadcast. So that's good to see. Jesse's been getting about 150 views lately after the fact. So Pathetic Warrior will go over there now. He won't come here, have a conversation with me, co-create with me, have some fun. He can't get out of his feelers. Another guy who can't reconcile the broken dreams. But he will be appearing on the Missing Stink with Jesse Wayne Gacy. So look for that. That should be fun and exciting. Those are two fun, exciting, entertaining, hard-hitting guys. They really live in their information. I think we're all looking forward to that with bated breath. Okay, seriously, I'm out of here. I know way too much about random people online. Yeah, that's true. You're finally coming clean here. Okay. Venus's voice is so fucking hard to listen to. Cringe cupcake. Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's part of why she's so bitter and angry and resentful, because her best years are behind her. Her voice and personality is insufferable. And look at the guy she's with. That'll make any situation worse. All right, seriously, I'm out of here. Go on with the rest of your day. Fly free. There's always tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Special thanks to the guest, Slow State, the other ladies and gentlemen who are here, of course, and such and so forth. Mazel tov. Peace and blessings. Brothers and sisters, much love.